What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the one and only, the only one, DG the Chef. And today, as always, well, not as always, actually, just the last few times, we're going to do something different. We will be playing Minecraft today. Nah, we're not playing no freaking Minecraft. I'm not playing that game. But today we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a list video. What is a list? Well, you forehead, Webster says a list is a number of connected items or names written or printed consecutively, typically one below the other. So I'm going to give you a list today of my top 5 Madden video games of all time. Now, this is going to be the best top 5 Madden list ever on YouTube. So if you're looking at a different one, you should probably not look at that one. And this one's the only one that matters. And since it is the only one that matters, you should sub to this channel, like sub to this channel. Now, I need you guys not to at me if I don't mention your favorite Madden, because your favorite Madden doesn't matter if it's not on this list. Now, I'm just joking. Every year there has been something horrible about the game, whether it's bugs, whether it's glitches, or whether it's just nano blitzes that just really make the game unenjoyable when you first get it. But sometimes you don't really know what you have until it's gone. There are going to be some things on this video that you probably won't agree with. It is a little biased because I've been playing Madden for a very long time and I forgot a lot of this stuff. This required me to do a lot of research and a lot of nostalgia kicked in. So I'm pretty sure you're not going to be happy with number 1. Maybe not number 2. Hell, you might not be happy with any of them. But again, it doesn't matter. This is my YouTube video. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today we'll be talking about my top 5 Madden video games of all time. Number 5, Madden 2005 comes in at number 5. Now, I know a lot of you guys may rank this a little bit higher, but for me, it falls at number 5, and you'll see why as we continue on this list. But I can already tell some of you Ray Lewis, Baltimore Raven fanboys are like really pissed off at me because this is coming in at number 5. You're probably saying, oh my God, Chef, this should be ranked a lot higher than what it is. Well, it's not. It's just not. That doesn't mean that it wasn't an amazing game, though. It was a great game. It may be one of the most balanced games that we've had from EA Sports, and mainly probably because at the time they were still battling NFL 2K, which a lot of people enjoyed over the Madden series. But it did have its fair share of issues, like some very great, awesome DC glitches and some very good nano blitzes and so forth and so forth. Horrible man coverage. It was a slew of things that in this game we found out later on were broken as Madden started to improve those kind of mechanics of the game. But at the time, I do feel like Madden 2005 was a great game. 2K was still alive and kicking, and during this time, EA was slowly starting to face a lot of stiff competition. In 2005, we saw EA focus a lot on defense, and they introduced some of the mechanics in the game that we still use until this day, such as defensive playmaker, extra audibles on defense, and of course the mother hit stick. Yes, 2005 was the introduction of the hit stick, and it kind of only made sense because Ray Lewis was on the cover. In the previous year, they started to add a lot of offensive adjustments, so they kind of balanced that out with Ray Lewis and the hit stick. And it's still in the game until this day, which shows you how amazing this feature was and how well accepted it was by the community. It's been here since 2005, and we still love to see those great hit sticks with a receiver coming across the middle, or that running back as he's trying to juke, he comes across and gets popped. We still love that aspect about Madden. So they hit this one on the head with 2005. And really, that's it. 2005, introduction of the hit stick, defensive playmakers, and some really just more dynamics in the game. And after that, you kind of was just like, 2004 over again with no Michael Vick. But all in all, it was a really good game, and I enjoyed playing it. And I also really enjoyed using the hit stick for the first time. Number 4. Madden NFL 2012 Madden 12 is on this list for me mainly because of franchise mode. I was a heavy online franchise guy, and before Madden even offered online franchises, a lot of you guys are way too young to know this, Daddy League actually became what it is today. It kind of was just a huge online Excel sheet for your video games. But the kicker was, it was way more manual. You had to actually go in, remember all of your stats, write them down, or leave the game pulled up after you were finished and enter in your own stats after each game, which meant that every season you were playing with the same teams because you were really just playing online non-ranked games anywhere. But this was the start of online franchise mode for a lot of us, and it really got us kicked playing with the same team over and over, making our trades. Online franchise was such a great way to grow Madden community and friendships. I played in a franchise called the MXL from 2012, I think, all the way up into 2017. And a lot of those guys I almost grew up with. It was just a good time to be alive, guys. Online franchise was it. So Madden 2012 is on this list for me because I started playing back when it was the equivalent of Dungeons and Dragons.
I give my Raging Bull a big gun and now he has 20 attack. Okay, so you win. Now you might say, hold on a second. You have tollgate cards on your side of the field.
I didn't say anything.
And with tollgate cards, how could my dairy driver possibly afford to bring the milk counters to the grocery store? How, you ask?
You're just saying things now.
Because I have a good work ethic card in my hand. I play it and dairy driver gets a raise, which means he can afford all the toll gates.
So Madden 12 was the first time online franchise you were actually able to trade draft picks, which means that things get pretty exciting. You can have somebody like a Peyton Manning go for 3 or 4 first round picks in Madden, because if he's 99 overall, when is he really going to retire? You had some insane things happening in online franchises when draft picks were involved, and it really made the offseason way more intense than it used to be. I used to look forward to building my teams through offseason by making great trades, making great draft picks, and the 2012 Madden really brought all this offseason into play. It really, how do you say, it kind of brought everything full circle for a lot of big NFL and Madden fans. And that's the real reason why Madden 12 is on this list, because of the changes that it made in online franchise mode, which I think changed the game. Oh yeah, and how can I forget? Custom mother-freaking playbooks. Before 2012, no custom playbooks in online gameplay or in franchise mode. So you had to find a team and stick with that team. But when 2012 came out, I don't know why Madden did this. I don't know if they were listening to the community. I don't know if a developer, let's give them online franchise with custom playbooks. I don't know what happened, but custom playbooks came, and you had a lot of people split in the community. This was the first time where you could add every YouTube glitch Madden school play that you could find in your own playbook, and you could have all of them in one spot. It allowed you to have up to 400 plays on both offense and defense, so there would never be a reason for you to ever switch your playbook, and you could set up all your audibles, and it was just the first time we were able to do it, and people didn't know how it would be. But I do think it changed the game and it made it even more competitive. So that is why Madden 2012 comes in at number 4. Number 3. NFL Madden 2004 comes in at number 3 because Mike Vick. Number 2. No, I'm just joking, but I mean for real, Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a cheat code, but that's not the only reason why Madden 2004 comes in at number 3 on this list. Yeah, Michael Vick was impossible, but 2004 really wasn't that bad of a game. I mean, Michael Vick was literally impossible to stop at some points. I know a lot of people put him at kickoff returner. The kid was he was a cheat code, man. So Michael Vick wasn't the only thing that 2004 gave us. It also was the second year that Madden was online and available to play head to head. So no longer you had to play against your friends in the community, but it also came with a ton of upgrades. Offensive playmakers were also introduced as well. You could direct your teammate post snap for blocking assignments and playmaking your receivers down the field. So if you're scrambling out that pocket with that Michael Vick, you can always point, let Algie Crumpler know where you want him to go, and boom, wide open, you hit him down the sideline. These mechanics though also increased the skill gap. So now you're introducing all these different ways to be more effective on offense, which thoroughly increased the skill gap between regular players and competitive players. But you can see where Madden was trying to go. They were trying to make this game as competitive as possible, and it was highly accepted in the community. We loved the offensive playmaker. The games were very dynamic, and it was almost impossible to stop Michael Vick. You really had to use your mind and your brain and come up with good defensive schemes, and you can see that Madden was widening that skill gap with all the new features that they were adding. Madden also gave us some new game modes, just like owner mode and minicamp. Minicamp, I actually used to love running my 40-yard dash and doing my running back drills and passing drills. It actually used to be very fun. And when you didn't have a full time to play a game, we used to actually bet on these games, whether you're doing coffin corner kicks, whether you were trying to kick long field goals, or whether you were just trying to do your passing schemes. We used to play these games when we didn't have a lot of time to play, but we really wanted to play Madden. Very good introduction by the EA studios. Now, since this was only the second year of Madden being online, I don't really recall them doing any game patches, but I do know they did roster updates. So pretty much any glitches that came with the game kind of stayed in the game because they weren't doing title updates at the time. And I do remember there were a ton of glitches in online gaming at the time. There was one glitch that you could run that if you paused the game at a certain time, it would force your opponents to blitz all 11 people. And when you were about to lose, or at the half or at the end of the game, you're only down by a touchdown, maybe a field goal, a lot of people pulled this glitch out their pocket, would hit you deep, and it would win the game. Now, leaderboards were also very skewed. I remember seeing people who were like 99-0, 3000-0 because they were running DC glitches, and there was nothing Madden could do because they weren't running title updates. So that's why Madden 04 comes in at number 3, because although they introduced a lot of cool things to the game, it also had a ton of glitches and nano blitzes. Number 2, Madden 2003. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, why is Madden 2003 on this list? Well, some of you are probably too young. Madden 2003 was the first online head-to-head Madden. And if you don't pay respect to the originators, somebody taught you wrong. And if you had PlayStation like I did, you had to go out and buy the modem, connect that modem to the back of your PlayStation, and then connect the Ethernet cord to your modem and run that joint halfway through the house so you could connect online. It was amazing. Madden 2003 felt like watching Daniel Son do the crane kick for the first time.
Finish him!
I'm not really sure how crappy or amazing this game was, but my bias kind of takes over just a little bit. It's on the list because, as I mentioned before, it is the first online head-to-head game. Some of you are too young to realize that we used to have to bring our memory cards over with our playbooks, or we'd have to just sit and play the video games on the same TV versus each other. You would literally be sitting shoulder to shoulder with your friend playing Madden as he looked on your screen and saw what buttons or what plays you picked. 2003 alleviated all that. You can now play against your friends online, and it was just an amazing experience. And that's why 2003 is on this list. Number 1, Madden 2016. So this is how serious I am about Madden 2016. I had to change my outfit. Now, a lot of you guys aren't going to be happy that Madden 2016 is on this list, because some of the things that I enjoyed about the game are some of the things that people actually hated about the game. But for some reason, someone somewhere at EA said, we're going to make a game for DG. This is going to be the game for him. I was a problem in Madden 2016. For years, I had been working on my run game and my stick skills. So when you add the fact that I was a really good runner in 2015 with the fact that passing and defense became easier in 2016, it really balanced out well for me. With the addition of ball hawk and aggressive catch and some of the passing animations that Madden introduced in 2016, I was unstoppable. So number 1 may be a little bit of bias in it, but 2016 was the most enjoyable game for me. Now, I know a lot of things were heavily unbalanced and aggressive catch was bad. If you had any tall receiver with good catch in traffic and spectacular catch, you were almost going to win every one-on-one battle. And if you tie that up with the fact that man coverage wasn't that good in this game, you kind of have an imbalance in the game. So Madden 2016 was really my year to shine. In online franchise mode, I had one of the best running backs on the Kansas City Chiefs, and I went out and made some trades to get me some really good outside receivers, and I would run that ball down your throat. Pause. I would run, and then as soon as I thought you were stacking that box, I'd hit you deep. It was almost guaranteed that every drive I was going to score. I had mastered the mechanics of 2016. Now, some people don't like the fact that you could just hold triangle in the middle of the field and your linebackers have superhuman abilities to jump and pick off almost anything, which made it throwing in the middle of the field extremely hard if you didn't have those big, tall, aggressive catch receivers on the outside. But luckily for me, I did, so it didn't matter. I used to love using Bobby Wagner because he was a man-child in the middle of the field and I would just wreck everyone. So Madden 2016 did introduce a lot of new things like aggressive catch, possession catch, run after catch, ball hawk, so forth and so forth. But it really, for me, the things that most people think broke the game was things that really made me enjoy it. So that is it. That is my top 5 list of the best 5 Madden titles that have ever been released from EA Sports. If you didn't see your Madden on here, hit me up with your top 5 in the comments. I'd be interested to see what the community thinks are the top 5 Maddens of all time. And as always, it's been love. It's always love. It's your boy DG the Chef, and we out.